Hello, welcome to Rebel Base, IGN's weekly Star Wars show. So this week they announced that there's going to be a Lego game based on The Force Awakens. You having that?
Battle time.
Have you said battle time? Battle time.
Battle time.
Lego
I'm always
Force
saying
Awakens
that.
battle
I say
time.
that at the beginning of every show, as you bloody well know.
Yeah.
Battle time. It's battle time. I was kind of wondering whether TT still had the rights to it.
Yeah.
Like post... Because obviously they make,
that's a really good point.
They make Marvel,
Yeah.
but it's been a long while since the Lego Star Wars games. And, you know, Disney made a big fanfare of the fact that EA got the exclusive license for Star Wars games.
Yeah.
But I guess this license predates that deal.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool that it's happening. I think it would have been brilliant if it'd been a bit sooner. But I imagine the people at TT Games were working for a long time off a very loose framework because they weren't allowed to know what was in the final movie.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think, like, obviously, anything Lego and The Force Awakens based, I'm going to be into. But I think just my main worry with this is how big, like, the thing I love about TT Games, they really don't put a foot wrong, I don't think. But with this, I kind of feel like the thing that I really like is how big all the games are. Like, I mean, no, like, you were a big fan of the Jurassic World one. It wasn't just Jurassic World though. You had 1, 2, and 3 as well.
But they were pinning Jurassic World obviously because that was the big...
Exactly, yeah.
That was the title to use to bring a game out that summer.
But like a lot of their games, like the other Star Wars ones they've made, one of them had the original trilogy, one of them had the prequels. You have like Harry Potter years 1 to 4 and years 5 to 7. Like they split Indiana Jones up as well. Like
there's no need to do an Indiana Jones 2 in fairness.
Do you want it? I was reading about the Indiana Jones ones as well. The Indiana Jones one. So the first game had the 3 in it, and then the next one after Kingdom of the Crystal Skull film came out, they just added that into it and re-released it. So that's a bit weird. But how big can the Force Awakens one possibly be? Because they've said, there's going to be bits in it that, you know, you're going to be able to like fill in gaps in that. But that's all that's going to be is like bits of Finn's training, maybe bits of Rey's scavenging.
What they could do though is it depends how many sections they mine from the movie into levels. So in some of the games previously, like the Jurassic World thing, you can do all the Jurassic Park, but just cherry pick 3 or 4 sequences to adapt into levels. Whereas this, you could go quite deep and have, you know, kind of break it down into more levels.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like, where the Millennium Falcon flies on Tatooine, on Jakku.
Yeah.
That's an entire sequence where in maybe another Star Wars Lego game, it would have been part of a level.
Perhaps. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I think like one of the main sort of that's the sound of an alarm going off in my head. And one of the main alarms I think has gone off is, do you remember they released another Star Wars one, which was like it was like Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars, and it was just based off the Clone Wars, but it still had all the other characters and stuff, way more characters, and loads of like extra mechanics and things like that. And from what I've read about this, super early, obviously, like they're introducing like a cover mechanic because...
Not that early, out in 6 months.
Yeah, I guess so. But like The Force Awakens, obviously there's a lot of blaster stuff going on in there, so they were like, we've introduced like a cover shooter basic of it, and I kind of hope that they haven't got a lot, so we're going to introduce we're going to make the gameplay maybe that's good.
I was going to say like one of the kind of criticisms people do have of the Lego games if they're not into it is they are, they have a template and they repeat it, and a lot of the joy comes from exploring those worlds, unlocking those characters. Maybe it's time for them to like maybe try some new mechanics. Like a cover-based shooter in a Lego game sounds pretty cool to me, actually. And if this is such a big property that you can take a few chances because people are going to be into it no matter what you do.
Yeah, I suppose so. Maybe have like a really big flying section.
Yeah.
That'd be
because
really good.
I've been playing the new Lego game, the Avengers one.
Yeah.
And they do, obviously a lot of it is what you'd expect from a Lego game, but there are kind of side-scrolling shooter bits where you're Iron Man. So I think they are aware that they maybe do need to like change certain gameplay elements to keep going for another 10, 15 years.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think like Dimensions did that in a really good way by introducing the, obviously, whatever it is.
Yeah, the Dimensions introduces loads of kind of interesting gameplay stuff where what character goes on what section of the portal changes their abilities. But then the criticism for Dimensions is you don't have all the characters that you can unlock throughout the course of the game. You have to buy them.
Enough,
So it'd be cool if this... what Star Wars has going for it is loads and loads of characters that you can play around with, and in an environment that we all love. It'd be really cool if they kind of relax the rules that they're putting on them, so you can have young Han Solo running around some of these locations
with old Han Solo.
Yeah,
kissing.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
Holding hands.
Yeah,
playing leapfrog.
Yeah,
I'll play that.
Yeah,
that'd be really good. But yeah, no, I mean, you know, it is early days, but as you said, it's out in June. So is it early days though? Hopefully. As I said, like TT Games, one of the sort of studios, and British as well, like one of the studios that I completely trust, because everything they make is just really, really solid. And I think not just because they are a really, really good company, but the people they work for, like you know, Marvel, like Lucasfilm and stuff like that, like these are the biggest companies in the world. And if they can keep going back and getting repeat business with people like Warner Brothers and that, then I don't know. They probably know what they're doing, right?
One would hope so.
I would hope so, yeah. Okay, so that is Lego The Force Awakens out in June. Next up...
Well, no, right. So next up on this running order, what the hell is this?
What?
I don't even know what this is.
What is a Tsum Tsum? Do you know? Because I didn't.
What is it?
So loads of people were tweeting at me going, because like I asked people, we asked people to like tweet us different stuff, like cool toys and that are coming out. And loads of people going... like without a picture, going, hey Gav, have you checked out the new Tsum Tsum?
The Tsum Tsum?
Is that what you say?
Do you mean the stackable toy that originated in Japan in 2013?
So you know what they are?
The stackable push toy.
Of course you know what they are.
Yeah, come on, mate.
I don't have a fucking clue what they were.
Get with the program.
What are they?
Well, I just told you, they're a stackable push toy that originated in Japan in 2013.
Have you got any?
No, I haven't got any.
Yeah.
I would like some.
Would you?
Yeah. Have you seen the little Jabba the Hutt one?
Listen, they are really, really cute, right?
Okay, so describe them a bit more. So they're kind of like...
doorstops, mini doorstops.
They're not doorstops.
Mini draft excluders that my nan used to have. That's what
not
it look
a draft
like.
excluder. That'd be terrible. It's a ball. What kind of gap do you have below?
It's a long ball, though.
Is it, what, from side on, is it long?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. It's like the size of a baby's arm.
Yeah. You can't use a baby's arm as a draft excluder.
Well, you could probably just the one step.
It looks like it's getting cold. No. it has to learn.
But yeah, so they're like these little stackable toys. Like, I just didn't have a clue what they were. I've never heard of these before in my life. And Star Wars, I think Disney...
What did you think they were?
Sweets. I thought it was going to be sweets.
People were tweeting you sweets.
Yeah, I thought people were like, "Oh, look at these Star Wars sweets."
Does sound like an Australian? It sounds a bit like a Tim Tam.
Tim Tam. I think maybe that's what it was. Yeah, but Disney.
Do you want a Tim Tam like Tsum?
I think in my limited research that I did, I think Disney own the Tsum Tsums because there's loads of them. I actually saw a Rocket Raccoon one, which was really, really cute. But yeah, you can stack them up. I guess is that? I don't know.
So is this? Basically, you've allocated 5 minutes to discuss. Is this you raging? Not basically getting to that point in your life where you don't fully understand the world anymore.
Yeah.
And the things that people are creating.
Well, it's just that people were talking about it in like a thing that I just should know what they were. They were like, "Oh, check out these new Tsum Tsums," and I was like, "Oh, okay. I don't know what that is."
Would you buy one? I think if you think about it as a toy and a format and a shape, it's perfect for Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah,
because he is a big space worm.
Yeah, or Sarlacc.
And everything you told me about a Tsum Tsum is probably more suitable for depicting the bodily form of Jabba the Hutt than Princess Leia.
Right. 1.8 million Tsum Tsums were sold by 2014. So that's in a year if you say they originated in 2013. There's only 3 million people in Wales. So that's almost every... give or take a million.
To understand anything, you have to bring it back to Wales.
Essentially,
to really kind of understand the gravity of a situation.
Well, I think everybody feels like that, don't they?
What, Wales?
Well, it feels like to really understand the gravity of the situation, you have to equate it with Wales. Everyone thinks that. That's how everyone thinks. That's how everyone's mind works.
What happened before Wales existed? How did people get really a handle on the universe?
It must have been pandemonium.
If
you can call that existing.
Did Niels Bohr apply Wales when he was trying to understand the quantum realm? He's like, I don't understand this. Yeah. This is kind of beyond any kind of normal parameters of human perception.
If only there was a little Celtic country that I could equate this to that would help me understand it.
How would quarks phase in Wales? Oh, I get it. I get it now. I get it.
Right. So I know where a Tsum Tsum is now, and there's Star Wars ones coming out. That's it. That was that section.
Should we try and get some in to muck about with?
Yeah, because that's a thing.
Put them under doors.
Put them under doors for when winter comes. I don't know. But I kind of
That's not what they're saying in Game of Thrones.
Winter
It's
might
coming.
come.
Get some bloody Tsum.
But I don't know what the texture or anything is. Like, are they soft?
Well, one would hope. They look pretty
Is there
soft.
cream inside them? I don't know, Daniel. So that is Tsum. That's what it is. Do you like them? Do you not? I don't know. This week, there was also a bunch of stuff flying around. So we talked about it a little bit about the toy fair that was going on in Nuremberg last week. And actually, we talked about something on the IGN UK podcast this week, which is that Slave 1 was kind of revealed at like a little shareholders thing. But
I was thinking, I know Nuremberg for two things. One, Nazi trials and toy fair.
And the ring, Nuremberg
so
ring.
Quite a diverse city.
Yeah. Well, they've got that, what's it called? Car racing ring thing. That's pretty famous.
Is that in Nuremberg?
Yeah, Nuremberg ring, yeah.
Is it called Nuremberg ring?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can have that bit of information.
Nice.
But yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff, but including, right, there's Rogue One Black Series. So Black Series is like been around for quite a few years, like these cool series of different toys.
By Hasbro.
But the Rogue One ones, code names were revealed, right?
Okay, I'll read out the code names and you tell me what you think they could or couldn't be.
Okay.
So the first one is Blue Seal Communicator.
Right. Seals are nice. Blue seals, even nicer. What's nicer than a blue seal? Felicity Jones.
So I'm not going to say no marks because you have shown you're working out.
Yeah.
I think it might be a different type of seal.
What do you mean?
I don't think it's an animal.
Oh, you don't think that's a... What I don't know. What do you think?
Well, the next one down implies that it might be something a bit more functional.
Seal droid.
Yeah.
Well, see, this, I think, is... so we haven't seen... seen Alan Tudyk yet, right?
Okay, this is Seal Droid.
Seal droid, yeah. We haven't seen Alan Tudyk at all. He's quite a famous sci-fi guy. Like, little known maybe about him. Like, he's obviously in Firefly and people really like him in that. He's also the robot in iRobot. And he does a lot of like voices and he does really, really good like mocap stuff. So I really think they've brought him in to play like a really good droid that they maybe like steal.
Well, we have heard rumors that there's going to be another very charismatic droid in Rogue One.
And I think it'd be him. Like, because his face is like, it's really, really good. His voices are amazing.
So these are code names because if we do think they're kind of some kind of crack military unit, I can't see them calling them anything like SEAL. There's too
like Navy SEAL.
There's too big a real world equivalent for them to use that.
I guess so, but
maybe that's just denoting like a cool unit, like a special forces team.
I do like that there's an eel commander though. Like, imagine being the eels. I'd like to be in a platoon with the eels. No, not them. They are awesome, but I'd like to be in like...
They're Welsh.
No, they're not. American. But I'd like to be in a Band of Brothers like style, but we're called the eels, like the flying eels,
the jellied eels.
Yeah, exactly.
The jellied eels,
the shocking eels.
Yeah,
I think that'd be awesome. But there's also some other stuff as well. The sharks. Okay. Sharks eat people. Sharks are almost always bad in films, so I'm taking it that the sharks that they talk about are bad guys, and also one of them is called a shark trooper. And when has a trooper ever been good, except for Finn, and when people dress up as troopers?
Yeah. So apart from those two notable, but also like talk about shark troopers. There are like some images going around online. You can search them if you search for. I think it's Death Trooper.
Okay.
And you can see
Death Trooper,
something like that, and it's like a black stormtrooper mask,
right.
And the face, the grill, it almost a little bit more reminiscent of Darth Vader's mask.
Okay.
You could possibly think the shark trooper could cover that. It's quite pointy and like menacing, and like these might be like just basically again crack stormtrooper unit.
I think that'd be really good. Maybe like we are going to see, like in the Clone Wars when they have those really awesome clone troopers and they seem like they know exactly what they're doing. Maybe we're going to see something more a little bit like that.
I think it'd be cool if it's like we've got our small band of heroes, and instead of them just going up against like huge armies, they're going against a small group of identifiable stormtroopers that you will see picked off throughout the course of the movie, or that you follow as much as you're following the good guys. You're seeing how the other side kind of messed up or were taken down, rather than just bunch of cannon fodder.
Well, that's the thing. Like we've talked about it. Like, you know, it's not about where they get into; it's how they get there. And you've got to give them. Like, if you're not going to have like Jedi's and Sith Lords and stuff like that in there, you've got to give them something really good to go up against.
Yeah, and I also think you want to see that their victory wasn't inevitable.
Yeah.
That if you did it on a different day, somebody on that side might not have messed up.
Yeah.
And you would never have got the plans. It's kind of like some chance, maybe the Force guiding them. Something led them to win on that day. And that would make it for a more enjoyable, entertaining film.
I'm so excited for it. Like, I think it's going to be...
I hope. I think they need to drop the trailer really soon.
Do you?
Yeah. Absolutely. They need to start communicating. I know we've got some feedback on that, but they need to, like... I went on a trip yesterday where there was lots of other film journalists. So we were talking about, like... messaging that, and obviously if you're listening to this podcast, if you're watching this show, you know absolutely what that is. But there is that wider concern that loads of people went and see Star Wars for the first time, never seen Star Wars before, loved it, and the next Star Wars film isn't going to continue the story they just knew.
I know that's a big thing,
but I think get a trailer out now. You need to start establishing that message.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think there's no better way of doing that than putting the trailer out now and then following up with trailers. And like, what is that trailer? How's that trailer start?
Hard.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to have stuff from the original trilogy in it.
Yeah, but I was thinking about this. Wouldn't it be cool if, you know, the first scene in the first like movies, like Vader going on board Leia's ship. Imagine if it's the moments just before that, or after it, or you see that happening off screen, and something like that. Good. But again,
kind of in the same way that they do with the comics, especially like the Kieran Gillen one, Vader, where you actually see him doing stuff while like not A New Hope, but like other stuff from the movies actually going on in the background. Then you see him what he's doing on the other days, and I kind of like maybe they could do it like that, because that's a really smart way of doing it, I think. Yeah,
but again, that does assume some degree of knowledge and memory about the original trilogy and what happens where. Which, when you start saying that implies you're a fan. Yeah. That implies you kind of know what this is.
It's hard.
Yeah, because I think loads of people going, the good guys won. But they won't know that they stole plans. They won't know that's a thing. And then suddenly there's another movie where the Death Star's back again.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's scary. It's a big one, though. Like, I can't, as you say, they do need to drop trailer, and I'm really excited for doing it. Do you want to hear a theory that I came up with this morning whilst having my breakfast?
Does it involve Tsums?
No, because this morning I didn't know what they were. So it does not. So this is the Captain Phasma theory you'll never want to believe. You ready to lose some sleep? Stop reading it.
Yeah.
So this week, Gwendolyn Christie confirmed that she will indeed be back for episode 8. She was at some award ceremony.
No, you've written, well done.
Oh, yeah? I don't even remember writing that.
This week, Gwendolyn Christie has confirmed she'll be... Well done. Well done, her.
I think that's a well done for me.
Okay.
Well done, Gav. You got to the end of that sentence. Well done. So we definitely want to see more of her, because she was kind of underused, I think. Even though from the start, like JJ was saying, like, look, she didn't know a lot.
Yeah, playing it down.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. When you watch junket interviews with Gwendolyn Christie, she says more and has more screen time in junket interviews about The Force Awakens than she does in The Force Awakens.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually.
Her toy has more lines.
Yeah. That's a really good point. Oh, poor Gwendolyn Christie. But I think we definitely need to see more of her, if only to answer... She needs to answer for her stupidity. It's her fault all the bad stuff happens to the First Order. Really. Like, she's 60% to blame, I think.
Not really. Partly.
Yeah, she's quite a lot to blame, right? But listen to
because they couldn't take it down until they blow the hole in the wall.
Yeah, I guess so.
But still, she let the shields down to let them in the first place.
Exactly, yeah. But I've got a theory about her, right?
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Strap yourself in. So do you know where her armor came from?
No.
So I was reading the Star Wars book, The Visual Dictionary, which, if you're a fan, buy it, because it's like £7 and it's so good. I've got it in my toilet, and I kind of flip through it and learn something new about Star Wars every day. Even if it's like a technical thing about like how they made something or something like that. Like, they talk about it in ways of like, this is how they made it in the real world, but you also get little tidbits of how they actually made it. So her armor, Daniel, is a polished in chromium. Yeah, don't read it. It's polished in chromium, which had been salvaged from a Naboo yacht. Guess who owned that yacht?
Amidala.
Emperor Palpatine. So he owned the yacht, right? Now, who lived in Naboo?
Loads of people.
But what race of people lived in Naboo?
Don't go there.
What race of people lived in Naboo? The Gungans. What do we know about the Gungans? They're really tall, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true.
They really like water.
Yeah.
What goes on water? Yachts. Right? Are you with me?
Yeah.
So, I think Gwendolyn Christie is a Gungan.
I don't...
Yachts,
No, that
water, chromium, Palpatine.
Not that I want to destroy your theory, but I will. So you saying that she was taken away, or that as a small Gungan child she built this armor for herself?
She I mean, it doesn't. She started messing around with armor.
She started messing what in the depths.
Well, no, she was never a small child because Gungans are pretty much born massive.
Okay, still infantile.
Yeah, but
so she built the armor and then turned up one day going, "Oh, I've already built my own armor. Can I join?"
Well, she probably had armor. She probably had armor on. They recognized in her that she was a really skillful fighter, and were like, "Yeah, we'll have her."
Do you not think she was taken and brainwashed like all the other members of the army?
No.
Even though that's set up as a major plot point in the movie.
Yeah.
The fact that this is slave army.
Everyone's different though, aren't they?
They are. And yeah. But how has she risen through the ranks? Surely
because she's really good at fighting.
Do you not think she'd be submitted to the same kind of process just in case, rather than just putting her in charge of it all?
No, I don't think she was in charge straight away. I think, she...
A couple of days.
I think maybe some battles. She showed herself, like she turned up on the first day and like, oh, that's nice.
Turned up where?
That's nice armor.
Turned up where?
All the war.
Bit flash to turn up in your own armor.
Yeah, no, imagine that. But she turns up in her own armor and they're like, ugh, all the gear, no idea. Here we go.
It's like
see what she does.
It's like someone at school wearing Adidas Predators.
Yeah,
going, he's terrible. At
exactly.
football.
Yeah, or like when you go karting with someone, they've got their own overalls and helmet.
Yeah.
Off. So she turns up and she's like, look, I know, I believe in what you're doing. I don't want to live under the sea anymore. I want to.
It's crap down there.
I want to be part.
My armor keeps getting rusty.
Yeah, I want to be part of the First Order. I want to help you. Watch what I can do.
Okay, let's continue this interview. So, I see you've got your own armor.
Yeah, I made it from a yacht.
Whose yacht?
Emperor Palpatine's.
Did you not want to? So you stole it?
Well, he didn't want it.
Why didn't you want it?
Because he just didn't.
So what would you do? Let's just role play here. Just role play.
Yeah.
What would you do? Hypothetical situation: a kind of old rebel general aboards our ship and wants you to put down the shields. What would you do in that situation?
I would put down the shields. I mean, I wouldn't put down the shields.
That's the right answer.
Excellent.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. See, thank you.
You got the job.
What are the hours?
Just all the hours.
Okay.
All the hours the Emperor sends.
But look, I know we're joking about, but
are we?
Right? The armor is so
laughing.
strong, even a Wookiee can't crush it. And I think she's got a fragile little neck, so that's why the armor has to be so strong.
But I'd like the point that she's got a fragile little neck.
Yeah,
well, anyone would. And
but her more because it's longer, and that's why the armor needs to be so strong.
But you'd want the armor to be strong anyway. We can agree on that point.
Yeah, definitely. But she has the strongest armor.
Why?
Because she says.
Because she says. This book, they put it together in such a hurry, and they had like words to fill and go, is this okay? It's technically canon. Stick it in.
Yeah.
Stick it in. It's fine. No one's ever.
That's right. And I'm taking it as gospel, so it's fine.
Good. Okay.
But I think there's something more to it, and I think that is she's a Gungan.
Well, you heard that here first.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out one day.
We'll find out one day how right I am.
Okay.
Let's have some force feedback then. Shall I start off?
You should.
So this is from Jordan Blom. Hi, Gav and Daniel. I'm Jordan from Medicine Hat.
Is this a real place?
Is that a real place?
I'm going to have to Google this quickly.
Who is making up that
Medicine
place?
Hat, where is it?
Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada.
That is a crazy place. What do you think they make there? Probably just...
Is it like in The Simpsons where they go to Canada to like rob all the drugs? They're like, it's the medicine hat.
Maybe that's what they just call it. Maybe it's like known that fondly.
Yeah.
It's an actual place.
Is it? Well, I didn't think he was lying.
Well, I didn't think he was lying, but I thought it might have been like a colloquialism.
Don't know. Where is it? Why is it called Medicine Hat?
It is called Medicine Hat because it's in the shape of a little medicine hat.
What's a medicine hat?
I don't know.
Okay, so he says, hi, Alberta, Canada. Just want to write in and say, you guys are great. Excellent. I wanted to know what you think of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mutants of Manhattan game. What is this about? I love how they're using the IDW line paired with Mateus Santaluga art style. Thanks, Rebel Base. You're awesome. Is that about Star Wars?
It's not about Star Wars, but I love that he's written it in.
I mean,
I think the game looks brilliant.
I think it looks brilliant.
I'm a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge Platinum fan. I feel like they can do no wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good.
We can just turn the show into anything now. Joshua Thorne, you know, like a lot of people this week have put where they're from in the world. Because you got really excited about when you realised that people outside of Wales watch and listen to the show.
Well, I like that because I like thinking that someone is going about their business in, I don't know, Turkey. And
we haven't got anyone from Turkey.
But, like, you know, I like thinking, and someone in Brazil wrote in once. I don't know, it's good. Yeah. I'm from a shitty little mining town in Wales. Like, anything impresses me. Except England. No, go on.
Listen, where do you live?
Yeah, but not.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, only out of necessity. Something just moves behind us. That's not good, is it?
Yeah, because you're slagging off England.
Seriously, what was that?
That was the ghost of
Winston xenophobia. Go on.
No, xenophobia is alive and well. Okay, so this is Joshua Thorne from Baltimore, Maryland. Wire Country.
Oh, nice.
He's writing this from a stoop.
And first series of Serial Country.
It is, yeah. Anyway, my question is that what is your favourite Star Wars video game and what are your favourite memories of them?
Ooh, nice. Favourite? I think Rogue Squadron on the GameCube.
I was going to say the same, yeah.
Were you?
Yeah, I was going to say Rogue Squadron. It's just amazing game.
Yeah, really good.
I remember first playing it's like looked exactly like the movies.
Yeah.
I'm sure it doesn't if you go back, but in my mind, it was just doing the trench run was perfect.
Yeah. Also, Knights of the Old Republic.
I never played much.
Oh, man, because I got that bought for me at the end of one university term in my first year, and instead of getting a job, I played Knights of the Old Republic all summer. So when I went back in my second year, I was so poor, but I was awesome.
But rich in other ways.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, rich in other ways.
But I also like...
Force Unleashed.
Yeah, Force Unleashed is really good. But the Episode 1 pod racing game on PC, that was so good. It was really, really good. And the one in the arcade was good as well.
Yeah.
Pod racing. I like that.
That's pod racing.
That's pod racing. Now that's pod racing.
It's literally not. You're flying a spaceship.
Yeah.
You did pod racing earlier, and you could have used that line.
Okay, so this is from Stephen O'Dowd, who from Reigate.
Yeah.
Don't know what that is. Isn't that the name of the prison in Gotham? Blackgate. Never mind.
Different.
Rogue One is not such a hard sell, he says. You've suggested Rogue One might be quite a hard sell to audiences. I disagree. Okay. Disney aren't stupid. They focus on new and old in Episode 7, with great new core characters mixing with beloved old ones. With Rogue One, they had a ripe opportunity to make a film that centers around Vader, the original big bad. Do you really think they didn't take it? James Earl Jones is still alive and kicking. Rather than Vader being a cameo, I think he'll be at the heart of the film. That's interesting, but...
Yeah, I don't. Well, I you know, it's not to say that they're stupid, and I think we're both looking forward to the film. It's still...
I think whatever happens in the film is fine. I think your point is they need to start getting the information out a little bit sooner so people can go, it's in people's minds. Because, like, we had, what is it now, February? No, we had one. So we had one trailer for Force Awakens by now, the November one.
Yeah, we've had nothing. And, like, they need to, they'll definitely put something on Civil War.
Yeah.
Because everyone will see that.
And remember as well, Star Wars Celebration is later in the year this year.
So they can dive deeper into information when that comes around. But I think, there needs to be something. There needs to be a teaser soon.
Yeah.
This is also on the issue of Rogue One. And we kind of touched on this earlier, but he was thinking about, this is from Tom Jackson, who's from Antarctica.
Shut up.
No, he says, I'm not from Antarctica. I'm from Buckingham, UK. I just love Gav's reaction when he hears people are from...
That's awful. I was just taking advantage of
it's funny you should say that
because
Tom, this week, there was actually a guy who watches IGN who lives in Antarctica.
Shut up.
Yeah, and he sent us a picture. He's part of a UN research group, and he's living at the South Pole. And he went to the sign that's on the South Pole, and he pinned a bit of paper that said IGN.
Shut up.
I can show you the picture.
Why haven't you shown me this before?
I thought you saw it earlier in the week.
No.
So there's this guy. I'm going to find you his name because he deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah. That's amazing. Like
this guy called Grant Schweeve.
Yeah.
I probably pronounce it, but Grant anyway. IGN fan. He works as a contractor for the UN and Antarctica, and he's posted this sign on the geographic South Pole that says, IGN, even those of us at the bottom of the world need gaming news.
Ah.
Isn't that nice?
What about movie news?
But also, Buckingham is equally good.
Yeah.
Probably has similar signal.
I've never been there. What's he saying anyway?
He says, Dear Crooper and Gav / Gnome Face and Fuzzball. I was thinking about uses of Darth Vader in Rogue One and how they can preserve the mystery and menace that is associated with him. I believe one of the ways to do this is to use him as little as possible, so kind of against what our previous email said. I think it would be a great opportunity to develop a new antagonist alongside him, a smart, Tarkin-esque character that oozes evil. The film would be a battle of wits between the rebel team and this new Empire commander as the team tries to seal the Death Star plans in a high-style film. I like this idea because I feel like
me too.
You don't want to overexpose Vader.
No.
Because, we've kind of done his story. And you see too much more of him. I think you do kind of lose a bit of that mystery, as we've said with some of the other characters. And there was this great plan that I read initially for The West Wing. When Aaron Sorkin talked about writing The West Wing, he said initially, before they got Martin Sheen on board, you would never have a proper scene with the president. It would all be focused on his aides and speech writers. And he'd be just all, at the beginning of the scene, he'd always be like leaving a room.
Yeah.
Or just coming into one as the scene ended. And they were just about to break him some bad news. And I think it'd be really cool if they do Darth Vader like that.
Yeah.
Like, you just see him at the end of a scene, or you're aware that he's in the background, or you see him giving a speech, but you're being lectured at from the back with all the other kind of stormtroopers.
That's cool.
Because I think that does preserve his kind of, power to a degree.
I like that. Okay, this is from David Hernandez. Also, can we get a gnome face and fuzzball, like Saturday morning style cartoon?
It's gnome face and fuzzball.
That'd be amazing. From David Hernandez then. Big fan of the show. I watch it every week from Miami Beach.
Wow.
I feel like people are going to start making them up now. But, yes, you have fans around the globe. Last week, you guys responded to fan mail and were discussing the possibility of having episode 9 end on a cliffhanger. If so, what do you guys think would be good possibilities? I think that if this were to occur, there would be many possibilities, such as Luke finally turning to the dark side, as discussed by J.J. Abrams and Mark Hamill so many years ago. I don't know what's going to happen. But...
That's good. We don't know.
But I was thinking, right, what if the reason that Luke is in exile is because he can already feel himself going towards the dark side?
No, he resisted it once, and now he's...
But what if... exactly, he resisted resisted it once, and then the Kylo Ren stuff happened.
I feel like you're more susceptible when you're younger and you're still finding your way in life, and you're still immature, kind of like Ben was as well.
I think that as well. But what happened if he just felt that pull and he was God?
I feel like that's one of the things that you can't mess with.
No?
Ben Solo is of the new generation and he got lured away.
Yeah.
If the same happens to Luke, it's like, how can you trust?
Yeah.
I think I think it kind of does diminish the power of the original trilogy. If this guy who resisted the first time around, he kind of capitulated later on, you'd be like, great.
Yeah, I suppose.
But do worry, because we talked about this a lot last week about them keep making more and more Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'd be really happy after episode 9 for them to kind of refocus and recenter who is the focus of the main Star Wars series.
Yeah.
Because I think if you continue to push Luke Skywalker and everything that, you're going to start maybe creating dramatic situations that you don't really need to explore.
Yeah.
Like pushing him to the dark side.
Yeah. Good.
Right. Josh, loyal viewer and fan from Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah. I've always wanted to go to Boston.
I wanted to write because I'm surprised that neither of you have the same opinion as I do about the Han Solo Boba Fett spin-off movies.
Okay.
I really don't like the idea of Disney making movies about these characters' backstories. I feel like the thing that makes both characters, and Boba Fett in particular, so badass is that both characters are mysterious and leave the audience wondering what they are all about.
We've said that about Boba Fett, definitely.
I know. I feel like letting the audience wonder and imagine all the crazy stuff Boba Fett must have done in the past is far more effective than revealing it and ruining mystique. But I just wanted to counter this because we had several emails like this.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, we talked about having doing one film where it's just Boba Fett on one mission.
Yeah.
And yeah, so much of what he's done is left to the imagination. But showing one mission, I think, just gives that fire a little bit more kindling.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you still don't know all the other things he did.
Nah.
And you know what? Then we still have one film showing him actually in action doing stuff rather than just being a bit part player.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to have one film that really shows what he can do. And then it's still largely a mystery.
I think that's right.
Okay.
Excellently answered, Daniel. I've got nothing more to add on that, so I will wrap up this show right now by saying if you have anything you want us to read out or something cool you think about Star Wars, let us know. Rebelbase at IGN.com. And for everything else Star Wars, stay right here on IGN.